Anti-trends and trends of 2025. What will bring you success this year? And what definitely won't bring success? The signs of the situation that have accumulated will be an economic, political, and social crisis. That's why there are so many disappointments and so much tension. And how can we fit into the trends of 2025? I can disappoint you. There will be no saviors. It's very important for us to lose hope. It will be a sad ending. And now pay attention to the question. What should we believe in? Greetings to you, my dear ones. Today we are going to talk about the trends of 2025 of the year and about the anti-trends as well. We're going to talk about what you should do and what you shouldn't do. Continuing this path leads to depression, disappointment, and loss of self-faith in 12 months. And what definitely won't bring success. Moreover, if you keep doing this, then eventually, after 12 months, you'll reach a state of deep depression, disappointment, in yourself, in life, and in general. Basically, you might lose not only faith in yourself, but also the current opportunities that you still have in your life. We have entered a period of deep crisis. And first of all, it's a crisis of identity, which will be very well supported by external factors. It will be an economic, political, and social crisis. Because, as you know, everything starts with us and ends with us. And if you honestly conduct a self-diagnosis right now, you'll agree with those things that I will tell you about. And before we move on to this honest analysis of our states, to understand how our state defines our perspective and how we can fit into the trends of 2021, in the 5th year, I want to ask you to support this video with a like and subscribe to my channel. Click the bell to receive notifications and updates about all the brand new episodes that I have prepared for you. Because this year we will communicate a lot and productively. And I will try to share with you all the experience, the knowledge, the information that I have in the context of foreseeing events, because I have the skill of foresight, and this allows me to stay one step ahead of others, clearly understanding what will happen and what to do about it. Moreover, you will be able to develop this skill yourself if you follow the recommendations and use the practices that I apply on a daily basis. More details about the tools to enhance sensitivity, intuition, and navigate crises better find via Telegram Time to Wake Up. They give me the ability to navigate through crisis moments in life much more successfully. You will find it on my Telegram channel Time to Wake Up. I'll leave the link in the description below this video. Well, now, let's get straight to the main part of today's meeting. So, let's start with the diagnosis, and then we'll smoothly transition to trends and recommendations. In self-diagnosis, I ask you to be as honest as possible with yourself. I will name the signs of the state that have accumulated, and you will mark it for yourself, yes or no. You can even pause this video right now, grab a pen and a piece of paper, and take notes. State and put a minus or a plus. Got it. Well, then let's get started. So, have lost the taste for life. And every day. It feels like every day is just like the other, like a twin, no matter what you do. There's a feeling that life has become gray and monotonous. It's diluted by events that you experience, when you go visiting, or to the store, or when you eat delicious food. But even these events have stopped bringing you enough satisfaction, so you don't feel a state of deep happiness. These events have really stopped bringing you enough satisfaction, so perhaps you don't feel a state of deep happiness, satisfaction, joy, harmony. There's a feeling that your life is a full cup. Yes or no? You have reached a state of deep burnout. When you want to make some kind of choice, for example, to make a decision to go somewhere or not, to interact with a person or not, what to buy, when to buy, and where to spend money. It's hard for you to make a decision because often you're not sure if you need it or not. So it's like you've lost faith in yourself and in the world around you. And this disbelief creates a feeling, a slight irritation or confusion, and a reluctance to do anything or interact with anyone. Yes or no? When you go to the store to shop, whether it's for groceries or goods, for everyday use, it could be clothing, household appliances. You don't enjoy making choices. You're mostly frustrated by having to choose from a large number of options. You get tired of this process. And each time you feel very much a tangible distrust of what you're buying. This is especially true for unfamiliar products, because experience tells you that behind a beautiful wrapper or a tasty offer can very well hide a lie. So the pleasure of shopping of the purchased item drops significantly. Or perhaps do you not get it at all? Yes or no? You communicate with friends, family, acquaintances, and colleagues only when it's necessary. Because you have such an extremely tight schedule and you're incredibly busy with your social responsibility in the form of self-care, family, and work, that varies in nature. You simply don't have the energy and time for communication. And from this arises the feeling that you are living in some small box from which there is no escape. Yes or no? Do you prefer to relax alone? Perhaps lying on a bed or sitting in a comfortable chair? Flicking through information on social media, reading news feeds, or watching comedy shows. At best, you're studying useful materials on self-improvement or enhancing your professional skills. What usually fills your free time that is released beyond standard social responsibility? Yes or no? You have accumulated a colossal amount of inner fatigue, lost faith, support, and progress. It's like you've lost your support. It's like you've been running for a long time. And you've gotten nowhere. And this feeling that you haven't gotten anywhere has led you to a state of disappointment, which significantly affects your overall state. And this, in turn, makes it harder for you to get out of bed every morning and face the day, to somehow live through it, to cope with what the day brings. It's like trying to find motivation within yourself to take another step towards your future, which is completely unclear to you right now. It's like there's something ahead. There's nothing, just an abyss. And all the prospects that were possible just yesterday, today, have faded away like an illusion, like a mirage in the desert that you were running towards but never reached, because that mirage kept moving further away and eventually turned into nothing. Yes or no? To nothing. Yes or no? And one more sign, which I recommend looking for that accumulated tension of resistance within yourself. So, nowadays, most often, the offers that life presents to you in the form of marketing proposals, it's something like buying or acquiring something, joining a community, or going to some training that most likely triggers a reaction of no, rejection, irritation, and even anger in you. Because from your feelings, everything that life is offering you right now, apparently it's not working. And you don't want to participate in this anymore. Yes or no? And now take a look to all the questions to which you answered and count how many times you wrote yes and how many times you wrote no. If yes appears more than 50% of the time in this list, then I congratulate you. You are doing great. You are in the right state, which will give you the opportunity to move forward and to change something in your life. Why? I'll explain now. And this story is not about negative thinking. This is a story about how we learn to test our state at the level of the body. When we feel what energy is in our body, what stationary mood is experienced by us time and time again. When we honestly determine our point, and those who wrote no in most cases, like, no, 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 I don't have this, and I don't have that, and I don't have this. Rewind the video back and just thoughtfully test yourself. Why? I want to tell you that today, the reality is that in the very space of the countries of Earth overall, a sufficient amount of negative destructive energy has accumulated that is specifically aimed at the international social, economic, and political crisis has borne its fruits, its dividends. Propaganda has worked on this. Circumstances have worked on this. And time itself has worked on this. The time for change has come, for transformation. And for these changes to be possible in society, society must come to some kind of boundary. It must come to a boundary where he needs to make an inner choice. And this choice can only be made in a certain state. And this state is achieved thanks to the collective field energy that has accumulated in the space. So, a strong energy field has formed in the space, disrupting old values and guidelines. It's removing our inner support and hope for change. The old system of values, the old system of guidelines, it's kind of taking away our inner support, stripping us of the inner hope that maybe, just maybe, things can still change, that it can still work out. And in doing so, it gives us the opportunity to transition into the next state. And in doing so, it gives us opportunity to shift to the next state of experiencing our lives. A state that is much more productive, much more responsible, and much more resourceful, which we call deep, sustainable stress. If you are in a state of stress right now, this stress is already quite intense. It's already quite palpable, and you're experiencing it in your body on a constant basis. Then you are ready to the opportunities that this year has prepared for you for its trends. And this, in turn, will allow you to change your life according to your needs. And believe me, the picture of life that you once saw as delicious and promising for you, it won't change. It will remain in your mind as well-being, happiness, harmony. So, what are you heading towards in your life? To a state of well-being, happiness, and harmony. But the realities are changing, the probabilities are changing, and the trends are changing, including its achievement. This will happen in a different way than it did before, and to let go of the old model. This will happen in a completely different way, not like it was before. And to change your interaction model, stop hoping your current actions of interacting with yourself and the world. You need to lose hope that your actions right now will lead to a result later. Will lead to a result then. That's why there are so many disappointments, so much tension, so much unwillingness to cooperate with life, events and people, internal conflicts, and undesirable states causing discomfort and emotional pain. And so much unwanted, seemingly internal states that cause you a certain discomfort, a certain emotional pain. And now, the anti-trends and trends of 2025. And I decided to define them by 3 well-known experiences. Experiences that we can call words: hope, faith, love. The trend for 2025 is love. Hope is an anti-trend, while faith is a transitional state. And right now, we will break them down together to understand how they manifest in our lives, how they affect our lives, and how to get into the trends of 2025 to seize all the opportunities of the year. So hope, what is this state and why is it an anti-trend? Let's think a little together on this topic. Hope, this is such a state when we want something and we have the assumption that this could happen to us, and it may not happen. It's like saying, I'll try to do this and hope that I succeed. This is different from the state of faith when I say, I will do this and I will succeed. When I say that we always inevitably end up where we are headed, then hope, that's when we are not heading anywhere. We can't go in 2 directions at once. It's when we freeze at a certain point, take action, but that action doesn't lead us anywhere because we are still just hoping. And for something to start happening in our lives, it's very important for us to lose hope. Hope that everything will change for the better. Hope that everything will still get sorted out. Hope that something will happen, like in some amazing way, by itself. On the condition that I will try to do something and do it the same way I did yesterday. Hoping for a different outcome. Ocho methods fail. Do you clearly understand that we have reached that moment in time when the old methods no longer work at all? Absolutely not at all. All old aspirations, the system of values, guidelines, all the pictures of life, all our efforts that we have ever put in any way, towards anything, and which once brought us results. Today they don't bring results. We've reached a point where the old times have called it quits, and hope won't help here. Hope must die. Moreover, we are currently at a point in time when there are many people around us who are drowning. And we ourselves are either in a state of drowning, we're drowning in our problems, difficulties, chaos, internal and external conflicts. We're drowning in relationships. We're drowning in financial troubles. We're drowning in our fears, irritations, and grievances. We're drowning in our disbelief. And even if we're not drowning right now, we're somehow floundering in what's happening. Those who are drowning around us, whom we are trying to save with our presence, with our effort, will try to drag us down to the bottom, because a drowning person, in their fear, in their panic, what do they do first? When someone is trying to save him, he tries to grab him and drag him down with him, to grab onto him and drag him down with him, completely unconsciously because he doesn't know what to do. Animal fear takes over, and that's why it creates this state of aggression towards those who are trying to save you. Aggression towards those who are trying to save you. And since we are in an environment where there are more people drowning than those who can save, and those who are holding on, even if we manage to stay afloat somehow or hold on confidently, the environment itself determines the overall state of society. Whether we want it or not, we are literally one whole. It's a certain energy field. It's a certain environment in which we exist. And in this environment, there is a lot of hope among people, which in itself is a sign that people are unlikely to cope with the situation. Then, that they haven't taken responsibility for themselves. For her, they are still waiting for some kind of savior to come and rescue them. And it doesn't matter in what form he appears, whether as Jesus Christ or as a political authority, which needs to make certain political decisions and show political will, and somehow build all of this up. I can disappoint you. There won't be a savior. And the salvation of drowning is the responsibility of the drowning them. And before you can save someone, you first need to get yourself to dry land. And in order to get to dry land, you need to acknowledge the fact of your current state and understand that your current state doesn't depend on you completely. You are part of the environment you are in, and the environment is always stronger than will. It's like a seed that's in the ground. It can't resist the earth. It can't resist the processes that the earth creates for it, the conditions. It can manifest in these conditions, but it's impossible to resist the environment. That's why right now, most of us are pouring a colossal amount of energy to resist decay, your own decay, to not lose your integrity, to resist the trends and tendencies that are present in the old model of society. And all of them, they report on the processes of personality decay at the level of internal conflicts, external conflicts, first within yourself, then with your partner, family. It's the economy, it's politics, it's the social environment. After all, it's quite aggressive and conflictual. And if that was the trend of 2024 and before, then in 2025, it's an anti-trend. And those who will continue to move in these anti-trends, with the hope that everything will change, at the same time, they will try their hardest to repeat the same actions that they repeated yesterday. By the end of the year, they will come to an inevitable broken trough in the form of their life, in the form of their personality, and it will be a sad ending and perhaps the beginning of another life. But another life also begins here, and it would be better to start it here and now when this year provides such opportunities. And for that, once again, yes, we go through self-diagnosis and honestly admit to ourselves that we are where we are. And for us, these are the best conditions right now. And yes, we lose hope that everything will change. It will dissolve, and we will live happily again in the state we need, and we will live happily again. Joyfully go to work, raise our children, and just live. How we used to live. We will never live like we used to. Hope must be lost. It must literally die for the next state to emerge. And the next state is called faith. When we lose hope, it becomes very important for us to find faith. And now, pay attention, a question. What is it necessary to believe in so that this year opens doors of opportunity for us, windows of opportunity, to get into the trends of the year? What system of values and operational guidelines should we follow? What should we be guided by this year? To avoid sinking with those who indeed refuse to acknowledge the fact that the old times, the model of the old way of life that came to us from the past 20th century, ended along with the 20th century. And the transitional period has also ended. That's exactly why most people right now lack energy, vital energy, that inner bright, flavorful motivation. Every day waking up in a good mood, ready to embrace life. Motivation. Waking up every day in a good mood, stepping into this life. That's why people right now walk around with dull eyes in a very mediocre, gloomy state of mind. And it only ignites when something extraordinary happens in your life. That's exactly why every day we feel that something inside us seems to be fading away. That fire of life, that candle that supported us, gave us the mood, joy, the desire to live, to move forward, to achieve, to accomplish, to conquer. So how do we transition into a state? Faith, what to believe in and what to focus on, what will give us strength, what will give us the feeling of the fire of life inside, which will bring energy into our lives. I'll tell you in the next video, which you will find on my Telegram channel, Time to Wake Up. The continuation is there, link in the description. In the description,